Welcome back to Ride Next, your ultimate destination for everything two-wheeled, where every bike has a purpose, where every engineering decision has an emotional logic behind it, and where timeless design isn't just styling up, it is cultural identity, brand philosophy, long-term mechanical meaning and ownership pride. Today, we are exploring a motorcycle that doesn't chase viral trends, doesn't chase extreme specifications, doesn't chase aggressive futuristic attention but instead chooses to remain authentic, soulful, elegant and mechanically honest. This is the 2026 Triumph Bonneville T100, a motorcycle that defines what a modern classic should feel like in the real world. A machine built with heritage, built with engineering restraint, built with deep historical continuity, and built for riders who value emotional connection over numerical bragging rights and hyper-competitive segment spec war. When you look at the Bonneville T100, the very first thing that hits your psychology is how visually calm yet emotionally powerful this bike feels. It is not busy, it is not over-designed, it is not sharp, not edgy, not aggressively angry or exaggeratedly sporty. Instead, it is this very controlled, elegant, well-balanced, perfectly proportioned British classic modern retro silhouette that triggers nostalgia in every generation. Riders from the 60s, riders from the 80s, riders from today, every single era can look at this motorcycle and immediately connect to its cultural design DNA. The tank shape, the single round headlamp, the twin analog dial cluster, the spoked wheels, the traditional bench seat, the narrow profile fuel tank, the exposed engine fins. Everything feels intentionally authentic. It feels like a motorcycle drawn by hand from a designer who understands history and not a computer-generated aggressive gaming CG model. Triumph didn't just keep retro for aesthetics, they kept it for psychological ownership reward. Because this is the type of motorcycle that is not meant to expire visually. It does not age. You can keep this thing for 20 years, and nobody will ever look at it and think it looks old. Instead, they will think it looks iconic, premium, classy and culturally important. The 2026 Bonneville T100 continues that storyline but with incremental modern refinement, lighter weight component evolution, smoother mechanical character, advanced ride technology integration that is discreet and not intrusive, and improved rider comfort that keeps the original soul intact. Under the classic styling sits a 900cc parallel twin engine tuned specifically for smooth-to-work rich performance. Triumph understands this model's personality. This is not chasing top-end racing numbers. This is not chasing extremely brutal aggression. This is tuned for mid-range, real-world city riding, real-world mountain riding, real-world daily usage, and real-world emotional satisfaction. The T100 engine is character smooth, predictable, buttery to work and extremely confidence-inspiring. This engine delivers around 64 horsepower and about 59 pounds-feet of torque, but what matters is not the number, it is the delivery. Instant, silky to work low down, effortless acceleration without needing to redline. The motor always feels composed, refined, smooth and extremely rider-friendly. Even riders transitioning from smaller displacement bikes will not feel overwhelmed. They will feel in control. They will feel connected. That is the real secret of Triumph Bonneville tuning. They engineer emotional feel and not fear. This bike's gearbox and fueling refinement has become extremely clean in 2026. Throttle modulation is controlled. There is no jerky hesitation, no strange surging. Triumph spent real R&D effort on making throttle, clutch, gearbox and torque harmonize together like one connected mechanical instrument. The bike wants to be ridden in a smooth, calm, rhythm-focused riding style. And that riding style is where all the pleasure of this motorcycle lies. Long rides, weekend coffee rides, small town to small town scenic touring, European open countryside roads, night rides through the city where you don't need to prove anything because the bike already earns respect from the way it stands and from the way it carries heritage without shouting. Suspension setup is tuned for comfort and refinement. It is not harsh sporty track geometry. It is truly a functional everyday usable setup that absorbs road imperfections without making the bike feel loose or unstable. Everyday riding becomes relaxing instead of tiring. The seat comfort is extremely good for this class and many riders actually choose the Bonneville T100 for touring because it is physically less fatiguing compared to stiff sport-oriented machines. Brakes are modern and controlled, ABS included, with traction aids that are minimal but confidence-enhancing. Triumph again doesn't add electronic layers to overwhelm the classic identity, they only add assist where it enhances real-world safety. Another extremely important unique selling point of the Bonneville T100 is customization culture. Triumph knows that T100 buyers love personalization. Triumph accessory ecosystem is massive. You can make this look more touring-oriented, more cafe racer-styled, more heritage vintage, more dark murdered out stealth aesthetic, or more chrome old school Sunday classic cruising identity. This bike becomes your story. Triumph intentionally engineered the platform that encourages identity building, because the entire Bonneville family has historically been extremely mad-friendly, mechanically approachable and visually transformable. That alone makes the ownership experience emotionally addictive. Riders don't just buy this bike, they evolve their bike with them over time. Few modern motorcycles achieve that level of emotional bonding. 2026 version continues focusing on premium material feel and long-term ownership durability. Switchgear's field quality, paint finishing quality is extremely high, metal surfaces are premium executed, and overall reliability has been one of Triumph's strongest achievements in the last decade. You can own this machine long-term without fear that engineering shortcuts will punish you later. This is a bike that is purchased with the intention of keeping and not flipping every 2 years. Inside performance context of realistic everyday riders, the Bonneville T100 is not slow. It is simply not childish dramatic. It is satisfying fast. It is mature fast. It is rich torque rewarding fast. And that type of fast is much more enjoyable in a majority of real road environments, because you actually get to use a large portion of the engine's capability daily. Many hyper-performance bikes are unusable in realistic road legal environments, so riders never get to feel the soul of the engine. Here you feel everything. You get to truly enjoy the bike without needing extreme speeds. Fuel economy is respectable for a 900 class engine. Maintenance costs are moderate, insurance category generally easier, and overall, this is a motorcycle that behaves like a long-term ownership-friendly premium lifestyle machine and not the liability. Price for the 2026 Triumph Bonneville T100 will sit around approx $12,900 depending on region and optional packages. In many markets this is not cheap, but it is fair, because the value you get here is not only performance, it is heritage, character, identity, premium craftsmanship, refinement, and long-term timeless design value. This is not a disposable trend machine. This is a machine you build memories with. In conclusion, the 2026 Triumph Bonneville T100 is for riders who do not need to prove anything through exaggerated speed, violent acceleration, or internet numeric dominance. It is for riders who want soul, mechanical honesty, aesthetic poetry, real-world practicality, daily usable torque, elegant retro presence, and timeless engineering. A motorcycle that reminds the world that not every bike needs to chase the future aggressively, as some bikes are powerful because they stay true to what motorcycling originally meant: emotion, freedom, simplicity, mechanical feel, and pure riding joy. If you are someone who values that type of real-world riding satisfaction, then the Bonneville T100 is not just a motorcycle, it is a long-term relationship machine. And in a world where everything moves too fast, this bike feels like the one that lets you slow the world down, breathe, feel the wind, feel the road, and reconnect with the original meaning of riding.